Well, it's fine and sunny and pretty warm, so that puddle's reducing rapidly. Nobody working over at the shed today, so I guess I better go and have a look down at the rice factory, see what they're up to down there. Dump valve lid's been painted, and that drill press I bought from Aldi is been pretty good value. Getting a lot of use. Dumping the water from the back tank to get in there and insert the ladder. So that's quite a good flow. And there's probably 4,000 litres or more. Morning walk around, as you can hear, tiling continues. I'm praying for the pit that's coming along, and this is the construction of the grill is beginning. So that'll be a 1 metre square, roughly, grill. So the idea is that you have these plates on edge with the rods going across them to keep them spaced. Ain't going to be light, but that's okay. We're going to have a crane over most of it to lift it. Here's the lid for the dump valve, pretty much done. It's the after lunch check. These guys will be on their after lunch break at the moment. I'm out a bit early, perhaps. It's fiercely bright out there. I said to Ezra yesterday when the chain hoist arrived that we really should get the wheels on the trolleys for the bridge greased before we hoist it up there, because that'll just make it that much harder. So earlier I received some video from Ezra showing that they are putting the chain hoist up, so I thought, I wandered over and ask. So I wandered over and said, did anybody grease the wheels? Oh, no. So I went and got the grease guns and said, here we go. So when I left, they were trying to get one of the shafts out. I'll go and see where we're at now. Well, that's promising. We have some wheels out. Hopefully they're being stuffed with grease. And here we are at the rice factory. I've taken the first 1 metre section of the grate down, put it on top of the I-beams. The trolley for within the pit has been given a coat of green paint. Yet to have wheels put on it. We have the strips over there for the 2 metre grate section. Well, if you can hear that, that's the sound of somebody playing with the chain hoist. So these guys are greasing wheels still, and you can probably hear the pump behind me. We've got the plumbing completed to the tank, although we need one more piece inserted. But the pressure pump is having trouble. I need to go and find the spanner to tighten up the filters. The evening walk around, and they've finished the floor tiling, so that's good. I guess wall tiling will start tomorrow. Spider wants to replace these slick tiles underneath the tank stand as well, since they're slippery when wet. Okay, we've got lots of tiles. Extra day of work. Well, the chain hoist is installed and all the wheels got greased today, so that should be good for years now. It's strong. As it says, 5 tonne capacity, as is the trolley. And I'm pretty confident that what we built here in form of crane, rails and crossbeam are also good for 5 tonnes. which it will never be expected to, or never be asked to carry. But yeah, that'll be right. The other thing that's happened here is Azra finished the plumbing, well, nearly finished it, and we have water now. So we have water there, and we have water to flush the toilet. So we've got to organise soap and towel, I guess, now. Okay, so this pump is a pressure pump, and when the pressure drops low enough, it starts, and when the pressure gets high enough, it stops. So what's happening is it's trying to force water through those filters and the UV steriliser, and that builds quite a bit of pressure, and then so it shuts off, and then as it actually travels through, the pressure drops and the pump starts again, and that's probably not good for it. And Azra used up quite a bit of wet area silicone on the inside of that tank to try and prevent that leak that you see there. And obviously it didn't work, so we've got to go to the next strategy. And as can be seen, we have a bit of a leak. That's the problem with these relief or air bleeders at the top of the filter housings. They must have O-rings or something on them that don't seal very well. So they tend to leak a bit. No biggie. But Azra was inside the tanks today to put the stainless steel ladder in the back tank. So that's been cleaned out, and we also have the lid put over the valves. So the idea is to get water into the back tank. If I close off the back tank at the moment, it tells us we have about a bit over 15,000 litres, a little bit less than 16,000 litres. So it's gone from 21, well, it went down to about 20 and a half when it filled up the 500 litre tank at the other end. So from there to there has moved into the back tank. So really wanted to level up the two tanks, which could do overnight. But yeah, so we've got the stainless steel ladder inside, and both of the lids are down now. And I hear the rice factory running. So you can see the lids are closed now, which is good. So we won't get additional mosquitoes in there. It'll be good when the work finishes in here and I can start sorting things out, organise my tools knowing they're going to stay where I put them, and I can clean up and get rid of things like cigarette butts. The no smoking signs will go up as soon as these guys are finished. There's no need for anybody to smoke in here, especially when there's going to be volatile things like fuels. But for now, I better not impinge on them too much. I think it's from the stop valve, I guess. Sorry, the float valve. And there must not be stopping the water being pumped in, as the pump would keep starting up periodically. And we are losing water out of the tank apparently. The fact that it's wet at the bottom of the tank there, it's like it's splashing, so it's coming from up high. So Oh, something more for Azra to look at tomorrow. Morning walk around, and tiling of the wall has begun. Now, I'm running the generator because it hasn't been run for quite some time, and I thought better charge up the battery so the electric start will work. Well, there wasn't enough in the battery for the start using electric start, so I ended up having to use the full start. So I'm buggered now. But I'll give that a while to run, and then I'll charge up the battery. Since we have a whole lot more of those floor tiles, as well as doing that lighter coloured area there under the deeper tank stand in front of the pumps, I'm going to do this path down here to clean. And I was talking to Jabita about this morning, and those ramps are there for ease of running scooters up. Well, we're not going to run scooters in there anymore because we've got other places to put those. So I suggested, how about we get those made into steps, and then they can be tiled too, so we don't have this vast tiled area with some naked concrete in the middle of it. So I think that's the way it's going to go. I'm over here this morning to unlock the level, and the tanks had equalised out to that level there, so I've turned off those valves now. Then I came around and turned on the dump valve for the north tank, so it's completely drained now, so I'll turn this valve back off again. Cutting the next strips for the next 1 metre section. The big cylinder is obviously an oxygen cylinder, but the tiny little cylinder behind it is the standard cooking gas cylinder, which I guess is probably propane. I don't know if they changed the one out or whether it just lasts a long time. This afternoon, and my trick this morning was to put these shelves up over the toilet for some storage for things like towels and soap and cleaning products and mosquito spray and so forth. Of course, when Jabita comes over here, she'll complain because she'll say I'll bang my head on it, but that's about 4 inches of my head when I sit down, and to sit down you lean forward, to stand up you lean forward, so no, it won't bang my head. And I've got some stuff up on the top shelf up there on the basis that nobody other than me can reach, so it's stuff that I don't want other people wandering off with, because everything around here seems to be up for grabs to be used. Whatever I have that's here, if somebody thinks there's a use for it, they'll just take it and use it without actually asking whether that's okay to do. Yeah, and I'm very, very, very territorial. What's mine is mine. And yes, I'll probably let you use it, but you need to ask first. And you need to return it in the same condition as you borrowed it. And yeah, still trying to adjust my ideas to living in Bakong on that one, because that's not the reality here. And at the moment I'm waiting for my willing workers, because Dadang's off doing farming things, I think. I need him for some stuff here. Azra hopefully will appear at some stage and do the plumbing to fix a few leaks and install that second ladder in the other water tank. Apart from that, tiling continues. I've got a thermometer up in the corner. Way up in the corner. You can see that's that metal one hanging there. That currently says 30 degrees. And as ever, it's high humidity here. so it's not really comfortable. I'm running with sweat as usual. So the slightest bit of activity and I'm dripping puddles. Oh well, that's life in the tropics. One of the things I wanted dadding for here was to run wiring for that fan. So I've cobbled together some temporary wiring and run it off this PowerPoint. But longer term, it'll be wired back to a separate breaker. The breaker second from the right is specifically for fans. It's the evening walk around and I've got a good start on the tiling of the wall in the back patio. As you can see, they're actually doing the top this time. Previously the top of the wall hadn't been done. I wonder if they'll do these columns for the well. My weather station from Shopee came today, so tomorrow I'll be setting that up. Well, it's the next day. I got the weather station assembled and installed, and this thing, the base station, is talking to it, saying it's 30.4 degrees inside and 30.5 degrees outside, 74% humidity inside, 77% humidity outside. So that's all very well, but I'm having trouble connecting it to the Wi-Fi. A lot of trouble, just like I had with the cameras. So what I'm going to do is pick this up and take it over to the house and see if I can connect it to a different Wi-Fi access point, which of course will then be out of range of the weather station itself, but at least it will tell me that this thing can be connected. If that's the case, then what I got to do is come back and set up a different access point over here that doesn't have quite the same issues. Them's the brakes. I have a bit of a leak through the wall of the back tank apparently, the south tank. Hopefully that will be self-sealing, as concrete tank leaks have been in my experience. But anyway, there's the weather station set up. I got that sitting on top of a polymer pole I've driven into the garden there. Ideally that pole would be strapped to the fence over there, make it a bit more stable and secure, because it would just take a strong wind to push it over at the moment, or a small child. So I can do better than that, I think. And the compass application on my phone is not sure where north is. It's given me several different answers, so I got to go and get a different phone and try. Technology. Why do I keep inviting myself to these battles? It's after lunch, and I just thought I'd show you that this morning, despite the manual, I managed to get the weather station reporting to underground. So this is now the weather readout from my weather station on my computer in the lounge room. The manual was not good. So somebody who is not technically adept would have stood no chance if they'd just been handed the manual and told make this work. What I had to do in the end was go off script and I connected to the Wi-Fi access point that the weather station console presents, looked up what IP address that had assigned my phone, assumed that the weather station would be number 1 in that sub-range, in the subnet. So I put that into my browser, and lo and behold I connected to it. And there I was able to put in the Wi-Fi access point and password, and also after having set up a station on the Underground website on my PC, I was then able to add that station into the weather station console, and after power cycling it and waiting for a while, lo and behold, it started reporting, and here it is. So currently 31 degrees, 74% humidity, and a bit dull with the UV at 1, and currently 148 watts per square metre, so it's dull. Yeah, time to go and do the next thing. Wall tiling is still progressing out the back. So painting of the first grate going on. I'm a bit unclear on what's really going on here, because my design called for these all to be welded together with the cross beams and the side rails and what have you. So I don't know whether that's happening, or this is just an intermediate stage or a final stage. So he's working on the 2 metre section up there at the moment. He's got the other 1 metre section done. And Ezra's recycled one of the fan blades out of the fan blade from the failed unit that I couldn't get the motor going in. So he's put that on a substantial electric motor here, and it blows a gale. So it'll be interesting to see how long that stands up. I suspect the plastic fan might not be strong enough. See you after dinner walk around, and tiling continues. There'll be several more days yet. Well, I got a couple of minor things done today. I got that light on the articulated arm mounted on the wall, and mounted another wall fan. I put the weather base station up on the window ledge out of the bench space, save a bit of space there. That thing's supposedly only good for 300 metres to the base, to the weather station in free air, or perhaps 300 feet, or 100 feet if it's through walls and stuff. I would still get a signal in the lounge room, which was through lounge room wall, bedroom wall, outside wall of the house, two outside walls of the shed, 2 walls of the water tank, and still I got a signal. And that's definitely more than 100 feet, I can tell you. So that was fairly impressive. Not that it matters, because the base station will stay here. I think the guys must have been down here with a grill to test earlier, because that chain hoist was actually over near the chair when I left it there, and I've moved these I-beams out to spread them evenly along the length. So, don't know what they're thinking there. Is it? Yeah. Oh well, we'll see. Morning walk around. That will look like it's almost welded. Painting continues, so we have the 2 1-metre grills getting subsequent coats. Air compressors with value too. So there we are at 9:21 in the morning, 28.4 degrees inside, 29.5 outside. It'll only go up. And this video is far too long, so I better wrap it up.